What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. Alright, we all know Petrify got the big change, and after some different suggestions from some folks on Discord, it's actually not terrible. You just really have to change your mentality on Petrifies. Before, the concept with Petrify is you wanted to petrify just a few mobs, and then have those few mobs taunt the larger pack, and then have the larger pack come in and everybody wallop the hell out of each other. Now, in this new Petrify, where it's a straight up stun, what you want to do is completely clog the lane. Now, you're going to do this by blanket petrifying everything you can. Now, what's the best blanket defense in the game? Well, it's pretty much got to be the weapon manufacturer. Weapon manufacturers have obviously just been absolutely incredible with shocking revelations. Poison Servo on a weapon manufacturer is gonna get the poison out there. It's just happening. So I've been going with weapon mans with Poison Servo, defense range and defense rate. This relic I threw together just to be able to test poison on multiple different defenses. So don't take this to heart. This is not a good solid build for this. The main thing is I got poison on it. Now, I'm also going to go with some Earth Proton Beams. These are those big beefy protons, of course. Frosty Beams, Destruction Vamp on there, and then Frosty Beams, of course, is also giving us the slow. Now, when there's cyborgs in the mix, of course, I don't have tenacity on my weapon man, so I am throwing down just a small reflect beam around the top weapon man node, just to make sure to block that off. This, of course, is giving even more earth damage through the shattering torpedo, but then also giving me the crushing earth damage for the shatter combo with the proton beam freeze. So those are working together as well. So let's go ahead and take a look through this map and see what we can do. Now, first things first, we got Sigard Womps right here, Soft Spot and Abominable. And this is really what I've been doing. I want to get the poison on everything up front before they come out. Then I've been putting the proton beam a little bit further back, making sure that the enemies are completely poisoned before they hit the beams, and just doing this. Now, it's only 140 DU, but it's just amazing the roadblock you can put in the lane. Now, the problem here is there's not a whole lot of damage going on, and that's kind of a big deal. So, I mean, that reflect beam can be a wonderful addition on any lane. This particular lane, though, we do have cyborgs, and what I've been doing for that is just doing something like that, just to protect that front weapon man node, as I do have tenacity on those protons. Now, if I was planning this entire thing out as a build, other than just screwing around and having fun, I wouldn't have tenacity on the protons, and I would use that reflect beam tenacity to protect those as well. However, like I said, this is just a testing phase with kind of a tester relic, just to see how the combo goes. And like I said, if you can manage to completely blanket the lane with Petrifies, it really puts a massive stop in the lane. There's just no doubt about it. Now here, I don't think I gave myself enough room, did I? Well, I guess I can just go all the way up and do something like that. I just need to protect that node right there. What do we got over here? We got Timmy's Revenge. Now this one we'll probably want to add just a little bit more power. We got Armored on that one, which will actually help us out. So on Timmy, let's do the normal setup that I've been doing. Let's see, we'll get the proton action up there. Now what else do we want to add on a Timmy lane? Well, I mean, with Power Block and Toxikazi, it seems like Flamars would do pretty well. I think what I'll do is just go something like that. We'll throw in a Lightning Strike R to buff everything with Destructive Pylon, and then throw 2 Flamars in the mix, and I believe that will cover it. Now, let's go ahead and get the flyers knocked out while we are R-ing it up. That should handle those flyers. And then we got Sigard Throwers. And these are armored too, which is going to help me out quite a bit. So let's go ahead and blanket the lane with poison. And then get our earth damage in the mix. How much is this going to leave me for that other lane? We got cyborgs here as well. So let's go ahead and get our our little reflecty boy up. Looking good. Yeah, that'll block it. Now over here, we've got not only a winner is here, but we got a headstrong winner is here. So, of course, headstrong lane, and it's unstoppable. So we wouldn't get a benefit of the slow from the proton beams. We're not going to get a petrify from the combo because of headstrong. So it seems kind of silly to even bother with it. So let's just grab our anti-frost fissures. I've got anti-frost, anti-orc, and defense range with deadly strikes, destruction, and defense rate here. So let's get to just some big boy fissures here. You know, is that... Actually, we've got plenty of DU left. Let me move these up. Move these around just a little bit. Why don't we go... where can you go? There we go. Go like that. We'll go with something like that, and then we'll buff it all with that destructive pylon on the lightning strike aura. I think that's going to hit them all. Yep, looking good. Alright, so that should handle the winner is here lane without any problems. I actually have 40 DU left, though. It seems kind of a no-brainer. 40 DU, even though they're not going to get the benefit of the slow. Where are you at, Boostars? Let's go with the Boostars here. I'm using Power Servo, diverse power and defense range with boosted grasp, destruction, deadly strikes. No point in using boosted grasp, but it looks like I don't have... Yep, looks like I threw everything else in the bank, so I'll just leave it. But let's get a boost in the mix too. Why not? Get everything all nice and juicy. Now, 100 DU left. Let's just go ahead and get these flyer lanes so we don't have to think about them. And I am going to keep an eye on this winner's here lane for just a sec, and then we'll go check out all the petrify action. Alright, looks like these guys are just getting annihilated. So here we go. Here comes the petrify. And, I mean, the stuff is just turning to stone. This lane is not very heavy. Let's see if we can take a look at some of these other lanes that are a little bit heavier. It's just creating just kind of a wall. And everything is just stopping and getting jammed up there. Now, you know, obviously you would be contributing right now and throwing in your own hero damage into the mix. But I'm just kind of really wanting to check out exactly how well this is going to hold up here. It's like the second everything gets petrified, it just ends up dying. Nothing is surviving through it. And I don't... Well, that lane has the flame auras too, and it's all boosted. But these other lanes don't actually have a lot of damage on them. And I mean, there's just... Now this one's all goblins, so they're just going to melt no matter what. Here we go. Here comes a nice push out of this lane. Let's check this lane out here. Lots of big heavies. Very nice. Now watch this. These guys are just going to jam the place up. The second the petrify wears off, something else steps up. Just turns it into a complete roadblock here. Now they are advancing through, as you see, but the reason they're advancing through is I've got, like, literally no damage on this lane. The reflect beam is my only source of damage, really. But you see, it's good stuff. I mean, it is just shutting it down. Got quite a few flyers. It looks like the flyers have breached. Gonna need another round of upgrades on those flamers up top, I believe. There we go, looking good. And then this lane again. This is the lane to watch because it's that heavy lane that you'd think mobs would just march right through. And I mean, they're getting petrified back all the way back over into there. Now, obviously, if they were all beating each other up, then that would be good stuff, but petrified does not do that fanciness anymore. Alright, so our flame auras leaked up here. Better throw a little bit of love in. Let's just go ahead and get 2 upgrades on each one of them. Make it so we just don't have to think about this. Maybe. There we go. And then what else? Let's see, I tell you what, let's just hit this stuff. That way I can ignore this winter is here lane. I really wanted to focus on what that Petrify was capable of doing. So we'll make sure that one is all juicy. Actually, every lane now I've got some extra damage going in it. We got the Flame R's over here. Over here we've got the Reflect Beam. Now only this front node is really hitting the mobs that are getting all jammed up here. The other ones will still hit, but they're going to be hit for that reduced damage since they're at range. Let's check it out here. See how Wave 2 goes. And here comes the Shieldies leading the pack. And they don't create as good of a wall as the Orcs do. But you see, it just shuts them down. Now, obviously, the cyborgs are just going to sit there and cast on that proton beam and do nothing for a little while. We'll just let them have their fun. And let's check this lane again. Basically, the same thing's going here. It's just all coming to a roadblock. So, I mean, Petrify got some big changes in that hotfix, and I know a lot of folks, including myself, really is not super happy with it. I feel like it got nerfed super, super hard. But it's still pretty good. I mean, is it as good as Electrocute? Well, it's essentially the same thing, to be honest with you. And you can stack, of course, the Electrocute and the Petrify. And there's a little gray area there right now on whether or not it is affecting diminishing returns. I haven't been able to test it myself with my crap connection I've been dealing with. However, I've heard both sides of it. Some folks are saying that they're not adding diminishing returns to each other, and some folks are saying they are. So I'm not positive on that one quite yet. I had a Geode sneak through. It's doing pretty darn good, though. I mean, it just shuts down that lane. They are just not going to budge. These flyers dying now? I'm gonna say, I hope so. Jeez. So let me go ahead and power through Wave 3 and Wave 4, and we'll jump back in and see how it's still holding up on Wave number 5. Alright, here we are at Wave number 5, and things went really, really smoothly. I did have a big flyer push that got a little bit uppity here, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and dump some of this Wave 5 mana right into those flyer lanes. And basically what I did is I went lane by lane and I upgraded whatever the primary damage was in that particular lane. Like over here I upgraded the Flame Auras, over there I upgraded the Reflect Beam. As you saw here, just upgraded the Reflect Beam, and that last 100 I'm going to drop right there into that fissure. And I've got this Reflect Beam upgraded as well. This one's all the way up to tier 5 now. So just getting the primary damage in the lane upgraded and just letting the Protons and Weapon Man do their thing. Now obviously you can't upgrade the Weapon Mans. Now you see this lane, or this wave, we got the Captain over here. We're going to want to pay attention to him. And then looks like we're going to have just the usual. So let's go ahead and see how Wave number 5 is going to run. Now this lane over here has gotten so bunched up that at the end of the wave I've just been going over and manually killing the enemies because it's just taken so long. If I were to put that Reflect Beam out front a little bit further, I wouldn't be having this problem. If I would have just put the Reflect Beam in front of the Protons up here, then it would be blowing those guys up. But this lane has just turned into massive packs of mobs just bunching up all up around in the spawn here. Keeping an eye on the mini-map, you see that center lane over there is just kind of a roadblock. Nothing is making it in at all. It's just getting petrified and then getting wrecked. And then of course Timmy over here, now that I got these Flame Auras all juicy, is just getting melted. Now here comes the Captain. Let's see how he does. He's taking big chunks of health off. You can see when the Petrifies expire. There was a nice little Petrify expiration there. Looks like I am going to have to give a hand here on the Captain, though. And then we got a siege roller coming. All these frosties are still dying to those anti-frost fissures. Looks like the backside of this guy is all cleared out, so let's go ahead and make it happen. Didn't bother with the nuke. And here is the bunching up I was talking about. You can see a really good angle of it over here. The front mobs are either petrified, behind them they're cyborgs, which are just aimlessly, you know, battering at that front proton beam. And definitely just jamming up here really, really good. Let's see if we can't get rid of these assassins. Let's see if this last round of upgrades did it for the flyers. That is a lot of flyers. Looks like they're all getting burned down without any problem. And we've got, what, one more assassin. And I think that is actually about it. There we go. So that was it. That was a look at floor number 160 using Poison Weapon Mans. Now, I tell you what, I'm pretty tempted to convert this over to a secondary Weapon Man relic. I really am. And get rid of Go Boo Boom and put Poison on there. I am so debating on it. But I'm not going to bother with it quite yet, as, you know, I'm having lots of fun just using this tester. And it's doing great. So, no complaints there. So, Petrify is not a complete loss. It's not what it used to be. But it's still pretty darn effective. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to click that like button and please subscribe. And I will be back soon with more Dungeon Defenders 2. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.